Hello guys and welcome back. This is part 2 of the video on repairing the power seat transmission on a C4 Corvette. In part 1 we covered the disassembly of the frame, the disassembly of the power seat transmission itself, replacing all the parts with the kit, and putting it all back together. In this video we're going to cover the replacing of the gears, the gear material on the transmission shafts themselves. When I mentioned in part 1 that some need it and some don't, well, that's the reason we're putting it in part 2, because not all will require that to be done. Then we'll go out to the shop and put it all back together so it'll be a complete assembly that you can just drop right over your floor bolts in your car. Thanks for watching, and we'll go out to the shop and see if we can get this thing finished up. In the part 1 video, I mentioned that if your gears were not damaged, to go ahead and use them. The original material is really tough and doesn't break down like the white plastic parts do. So if they're good, use them. The ones in this picture are damaged and should be replaced. They get chewed up when the seat is rammed up against the stops and breaks the end caps, and that allows the gears to get misaligned with the worm gears, and then they get chewed up. And once that happens, there's no going back. The original material is molded onto the shaft onto some knurls. And you have to get that off somehow. You have to cut it, grind it, chip it, sand it, saw it, or somehow just do the best you can. I do it on a lathe, but I realize most guys don't have access to a lathe. Some guys have used a Dremel to get the majority of it off. Others have used a grinder or just a hammer and a chisel. Be careful and just don't damage the shaft. Now here's one that I cut off with the Dremel cutoff wheel just to show you different ways to do it. Be sure and wear some eye protection because you'll have little pieces of plastic flying all over the place. Now when you get to the point where you can see the knurls through the plastic, stop right there. You don't want to keep grinding and damage the knurls on the shaft. We'll get the rest of it off with a little bit of heat. You can use a propane or a MAP gas torch to heat the remaining plastic. When it starts to melt, use a wire brush to brush out the old material. Do a little at a time to prevent it from overheating the shaft. You don't really want to see much of a color change. So just heat a little bit, brush, and let it cool off. Heat, brush, let it cool off, and then it'll get it all cleaned out. Once you get all the old material off, this is what you'll end up with. This is a small gear for the forward to reverse travel. The two larger gears for the vertical movement will have a little different looking knurls. Here's what the two styles of shafts look like. The one on the right is the forward and reverse shaft. The one on the left is the vertical movement, the little short one. And the big long shaft, which is not a picture of, looks just like the one on the left. Before I press the gear on, I like to put some JB Weld on the knurls. I've pressed them on before without using the JB Weld, and it held fine. But I like to use it just as a precaution. If you get some on the little bearing surface, just wipe it off before it hardens. Otherwise, you'll be scraping and sanding after it gets hard. Press it on until you get about 150 thousandths between the little lip on the gear and the flat surface of the flange on the shaft. I use the flat surface of the chuck in the tailstock to press the gear on, just because it keeps everything centered and presses it on straight. Whatever method you use, just be sure it goes on straight, and then let it sit and cure for 24 hours. Now that we've got the transmission all put back together, installed on the frame, there's one thing you need to check. If you use little screws to put this together, You want to make sure that you use a little small sharp one on the ends, all of the end locations, so they don't interfere with the frame as it goes up and down. I like to use a cutout floor section from an old C4 to assemble these. So that's what we're going to be using. One of the first things you need to do is set these holes at about a 10 3/4 inch center to center. You can measure it. It's pretty, you don't have to get it right on, but get it pretty close to 10 3/4. That's the spacing that the pins have here. You can do that simply by moving the front and rear gears up and down. That moves these so you can set your 10 3/4. First thing to do, I like to do it this way. Put the motor side over the bolt holes, or over the bolts sticking up through the floor. Then put the transmission side on. That way you can get the crossover shaft lined up. You may have to turn it maybe a half a turn or something like that off, because it's got a flat and you want to make sure it goes in there. And then the hard part, you got to get the transmission shaft, crossover shaft, these pins, everything all lined up at the same time, and then it'll drop over the housing or drop over the bolts. The next thing to do is put the pieces of tubing on. Now you want to be sure and heat these just a little bit to slide them over the nipples. If you don't, you'll end up breaking these. So it doesn't take much. Just soften them up a bit and they'll slide right on. You want to do that to all three of them on each end. So we'll just do one end at a time. There you go. Sorry about the noise. Another thing to do is put the flat washers on so you won't accidentally take this thing apart again. Put your little cotter pins in, put them in place. That one went in easy. This one doesn't want to. Well, that's a stubborn little one, isn't it? There we go. All right, that's dropped down. The next thing to do is put the cables in. You can push them all the way in and kind of feel when it hits the squares on the motor. It'll be difficult to turn then. You can feel it drop in place. All right, now we need to put the other side on. Do the same thing, heat them up a little bit. Doesn't take much, just a little. There you go. That one went in easy. I've had guys try to put these together cold like that, and they'll end up breaking those. So be sure and heat them just a little bit. And there we go. If we want to test it, got a little test rig. There's the front moving up and down. And there we go. Be sure and don't run those up against the stops, because that's what tears these up. There's no electrical limit switch on them. They just jam up against the little stops and stop their movement. So that completes the assembly. Just bolt it down to the floor, bolt your seat on, and you're good to go. In one of the other videos, we may do another one. It's on rebuilding these motors. You want to make sure that the motors turn free and not all greased up. A lot of times they'll get grease on the commutator and the brushes. If you're not confident of doing that, just take the motor off, take it to a motor guy, and they can clean it up for you. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you again in another one.